Hello, and welcome to the Roselle T Knit Along. Before we get started, before we even cast on for our gauge swatch, I want to take a look at how to choose the right size. The reason this is so important is 99% of sweater knitters' disappointment comes from choosing the wrong size, and it's almost always choosing a size that is too large for you. So today I want to talk about the all important, or rather, the not as important as you think. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Bust. That's right. Let's talk bust. This is often the only measurement knitters look at. They look for the chest size, and then they add a few inches to that, and then they go, okay, that's my size, right? So for instance, my full chest measurement is 35, so I might say, oh, well, I got to add some ease to that, right? I keep hearing about this thing, ease. So I'll add, oh, I hear standard fit is 2 to 4 inches of ease. So let's see, my full chest is 35. So I add a couple inches, that's 37 or maybe 38. So I might think that I'm looking for the size that I'm looking for in the chest. I don't do math well, so let's say 38 divided by 2, 19. I might think I'm looking for 19, right? So I might look at the handy dandy schematic and I might say, okay, I'm going to choose the third size in, 19. That would not be the right size for me. So here's the thing. What measurement is important to fit you really well in a garment like this, in a set and sleeve? The crossback. And in fact, a little bit of negative ease at the full chest can be your best friend. Because if I add positive ease to that area, and of course fabric stretches, then it's going to be a sack on me every place else. So what is that crossback measurement? It's that shoulder bone to shoulder bone. Now here I'm wearing the cabled rib cardi, and some of you guys on my newsletter group might have bought both of these patterns and saved your 20% off. How clever you were. And you can see here the crossback measurement, that's that shoulder seam to shoulder seam, is just to the outside of my shoulder bone. It's actually, a little bit to the outside of my shoulder bone because this is a cardigan. So I want to make sure that there's room for me to wear something under it. So I think off the top of my head, the crossback measurement for this, the size that I'm wearing, might be about 13, I think. Whereas the crossback measurement for this is 12 for the size that fits me well, which, by the way, the size that fits me well is the 33-inch chest. It's a 16 and a half across, which means I have 2 inches of negative ease at my full chest, meaning the garment is smaller than I am. And this dress form is the same as me. So you can see this fits well. And there's plenty of swing in the hips. There's no negative ease at the belly. This is not in any way, shape, or form a skin-tight garment. What it is a well-fitted garment. So how do we find that crossback measurement? Well, I'm going to link in the pattern to 2 blogs. No, I'm lying. To 1 blog. I think it's only one. That talks about measuring a garment that fits you well and measuring your own body. But there's another cheat, which is the high chest measurement. High chest. So instead of that full measurement that goes around the widest part of you, raise your arms and put a tape measure tucked way up here, high, high, high. And that is what's called a skeletal measurement. So the thing about a skeletal measurement is it's going to directly connect with other skeletal measurements, things like your crossback and your armhole depth. It's not that we don't have flesh on our crossback or flesh for our underarm measurement, but it's less flesh than other parts. So you might notice, for instance, if you're looking at flat patterns, you might see, there might be, depending on how many sizes of flat patterns, 13, 14, 15 inches between the smallest chest size and the largest chest size. But you're not going to see 15 inches difference between the smallest crossback and the largest. You might see 4, 5, 6 inches difference, right? That's where we get those sweaters, when we choose sweaters that are too large on us, that look like a drop shoulder and a set-in sleeve had a baby, you know, where that shoulder seam is like down there. Not a good look. And here we have a nice fitted garment up here because we have these little lace sleeves. And don't worry, I've already heard from people of, oh, can I alter the neck? Can I alter the sleeves? Of course you can. This is a Patty Lyons video class. You're going to learn how to alter anything you want. But before you alter, you want to choose the base size that's right for you. So we're going to dig into the schematic next. We're going to look at all these measurements and see what is a good measurement for us. But the thing that you're going to do first is you're going to get your high chest measurement. You're going to measure a garment that fits you well. If you want, you can try to measure that, your body measurement for the crossback, but it's a hard measurement to get. But I guarantee you, when you have a little bit of negative ease at the full chest or zero ease, you want everything else to fit you well. You're going to be so much happier. So make sure the armhole depth is correct. Make sure that upper arm measurement is correct. Again, the nice thing about lace is it's very stretchy. So you can worry a little less about the upper arm, but it's perfectly easy to adjust as well in a Patty Lyons video class. All right, next up, let's take a look at the schematic. Wanted to take a close look at the schematic because we want to understand what every measurement is. And like I said, a lot of times knitters just look at this one measurement, the chest measurement, and say, okay, I'm all set. But we want to understand everything. So the first thing we want to look at is kind of some standards, which is all the horizontal measurements, measure width, and all the vertical measurements over here, measure length. Now, if you see a measurement and you're thinking, I don't know what that connects to, like, what is this 1.5 inches? What is that? One little tip is you can take a straight edge and draw a line until it hits something on the schematic, and you'll see, I see. Okay, that is the rise of the natural curve that's going to be created by the shaping. Or if I wasn't sure what these measurements were, notice if I take that straight edge and I just draw a line, I can see what that guy actually connects to, and I see, oh, I see, that's the chest measurement, versus down here, where this is clearly the hip measurement. So same thing over here for lengths. If I wondered, what's that guy? And I take that straight edge and I draw it out until it hits something, I can see, oh, that's the rise of the shoulder. So let's talk crossback. Here I've gone on and on and on about how important this shoulder bone to shoulder bone measurement is, but where is it? Well, it's there. This is standard pattern writing. It's just hiding in plain sight. So if I take a look at this measurement and I extend those dots right down until it hits something, I can see, I see 8.5 inches from this dot to this dot. That's the neck width. 1 3/4 inches from this dot to this dot. Oh, I get it. That's the shoulder width. Well, unless something's gone horribly wrong, you have two shoulders, right? So 1 3/4 plus 1 3/4 is 3.5 plus 8.5, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's 12 total, if I did that math in my head. Okay, so what I want you to do is really examine this schematic, and you also might see armhole depths that are shorter than some of the armhole depths you're used to. Remember that fabric thickness also matters. So this is a DK weight, sport weight. It's a finer yarn. So if you were doing a sweater out of a worsted weight yarn or chunky yarn, remember that stitches not only get wider and taller, but they also get fatter, right? So that means the empty space for your arm is smaller, with a thicker yarn. So this measurement might be for your size, maybe a 7 or 7 1/4 if you're using a chunkier yarn. So I just want to alert you to that. And over here we have the same thing with the little sleeve. We have the width, we have the little rise, we have the cap. And don't worry, we're going to be talking about how to use these schematics to help map out your pattern. There's going to be all sorts of fun tools like blow-ups of these schematics, and we're going to learn how to use them the way Japanese knitters do to map out every part of their pattern. But for now, pick the size that fits you well, cast on for the gauge swatch. Don't forget to watch those swatching videos, and I'll see you on the Ravelry board.